Johnny, why are you talking like that? Hey, dork. Why are you so weird, wimp? Come on, Tina, you're so gay. Stop being like that. These are words we often hear bullies target victims with speech disorders. According to a study found in the article titled Perceived Stigmatization of Children with Speech, Language Impairments and Their Parents, stated that 36% of children with speech language impairments are bullied at school compared to only 12% of their normally developing peers. Today, ladies and gentlemen of the school board and the mayor, I would like to discuss the bullying and its effects on children with speech disorders, as well as bring forth an advocated change to allow more speech language pathologists into the school districts of Tennessee to reduce this ongoing problem in our society. Three main points that I will be discussing are bullying presents consequences on children with speech disorders, speech language pathologists. They play an important role in decreasing the bullying epidemic in school districts, including Tennessee. And last, more speech language pathologists that get involved will decrease these long-term consequences of bullying on children with speech disorders. Now moving on to my first point. Bullying presents consequences on children with speech disorders. We all misunderstand what bullying is. It is defined as a disrespectful relationship problem that occurs when one or more children repeatedly use aggressive behavior to manipulate, upset, or harm another child who is vulnerable because of their physical, mental, or social features. Ultimately, it is important you will understand that these children who have speech disorders are the main target for these bullies. In reference to Johnson's text, she states, although privilege is attached to social categories and not to individuals, people are the ones who make it happen with what they do and won't do in relation to others. This almost always involves some form of discrimination. In other words, treating people unequally simply because they belong to a particular social category. Bullying children who belong to this particular social group of disabled people. They're the ones being threatened with physical violence, such as being hit, shoved, beaten up in school, as well as being discriminated in many ways. They're also experiencing verbal assault because of having a speech impairment. These children, they're also experiencing social and emotional risks, such as low levels of self-esteem, a sense of loneliness, depression. They're having far more mental problems and health problems, and all of these things, they're leading to these children having extreme cases and thoughts of suicide, or extreme cases of suicidal thoughts. Bullying has become such a problem that these countries around the world have made it a priority in children's health to prevent and manage bullying in schools and our communities. Now moving on to my second point. Speech pathologists can play a role in decreasing the bullying epidemic in school districts, including Tennessee. According to a study I found in Dr. Gordon, the bullying epidemic. Bullying often occurs during school hours, which affects children's learning. Bullying is a greater problem for children with disabilities, especially those with communication, developmental, and social disabilities. For example, these children may have disfluencies like stuttering problems, something that they were born with, or neurological disorders because of a brain injury that occurred in a car accident or some incident that happened or accident at home that occurred. Speech language pathologists are the main therapists that work with children with speech disorders. Obviously, it appears that the children with speech disorders are the main target of these bulliers. They commonly work with children who have a variety of problems: articulation disorders, voice disorders, fluency disorders such as stuttering. They may often have aphasia. This is difficulty using their words when talking to others, or even a delay of understanding what these words mean to talk about them with other people. It was stated in Tennessee, school districts have found speech language pathologists help restore and balance the power to make a difference that is disrupting these children with speech disorders in bullying situations. Ultimately, speech language pathologists can provide strategies to teachers, parents, and children and how to deal with these situations when bullying happens to them, and what these bullies are doing to their lives. The last point that I will be moving on to and discussing is more speech-language pathologists can get involved to decrease children's long-term consequences of bullying. Speech-language pathologists, they're continuing to raise awareness about bullying in schools. Because they're the communication therapists, they are in the heart of the action. They are able to make a difference in these children's lives that have speech disorders, and they're able to help the parents determine how to respond to these bullying situations that are appropriate for their children and in this situation. In 2006, PACER developed a campaign called the National Bully Prevention Awareness Week in response to the need to raise awareness for bullying and the effects it has on children, including school avoidance, increased anxiety, and depression. Partnering up with National Teacher Association, they're hoping to begin the shift of social change through their awareness of bullying. Ultimately, speech-language pathologists, they can attend classrooms of all children, the ones with and without disorders, and they can teach everyone to be aware of what it is like to be a child with speech-language disorder. They can work on language and comprehension that these children face problems with. They can have everyone in the class read a chapter out of the social studies book and have them speak at a slow and appropriate rate of discussing what the chapter is about and answering questions that I might ask, that a speech-language pathologist may ask them. That way they understand that these children with these speech disorders, they often have trouble saying their words because they come off speaking too fast and they don't know how to comprehend what they're saying for someone else to be able to understand them. In conclusion, I've discussed why implementing more speech-language pathologists in the school districts will decrease this ongoing problem. As you all see, bullying is an increased problem, and there needs to be an effective advocated change immediately. If you don't all take my advocated change seriously, this epidemic of children with speech disorders will continue to grow, and these children will experience many, many problems in their lives. I'd like to end with a quote by Robert Frost. Never be bullied into silence. Never allow yourself to be made a victim. Accept no one's definition of your life. Define yourself. Thank you.